The actual point of knowing how to do something different was being stuck in traffic in central London and thinking, hang on, I can do this on my bike.
In the hospital, we try and give everyone as much choice possible. We are still in an environment which is secure, and so on the walk, they get that sense of freedom.
And I guess I've always been interested in kind of tricking the eye with, you know, the fantasy and reality and mixing the two.
I feel like we're really making a difference here. Like with every development we make, it feels like a really big leap forward.
Yeah, I raced around the country, about 12, 13, and then was at school. I went to the BMX World Championships in Las Vegas, America, in about 1984, and then I progressed to race in Europe, and my first title was 1985 European Champion when I was 15. Well, I didn't start the ambulance job till 92, 93, but I was turning up to a lot of ambulance jobs where it didn't need a double crewed ambulance, you know, and we make a decision to say, well, actually, you don't need an ambulance. You don't need to have a double crewed ambulance to come to you. You go on the back, we drive you to hospital, and then do the next one. So my mind was, if I could attend on my own, decide if the patient needed an ambulance or not, find an alternative pathway for them so they're still looked after, it could ease the pressure on the front line of ambulance services. So immediately we had a result where I was saving lots of ambulance journeys of coming out to see me because I was referring the patients to local healthcare. As an example, a few weeks ago, one of my guys on the team went to 10 ambulance call-outs. He needed one ambulance. In London and other cities, you're just busy all the time. It's call after call after call. So knowing that I could free up so many ambulances to go and do other things was good. But also, I'm attending patients quickly through traffic, highly pedestrianised areas. I'm attending those patients and attending them if they're in cardiac arrest, starting their heart again.
So this is a secure hospital. We have medium and low secure wards. It specialises in autism spectrum disorder. A lot of the people here might have problem with social communication, imagination, and that might involve struggling to perspective take, having anxiety because people do things they don't expect, and that can lead to risk behaviours, and that's why it's quite confined. I guess I just love walking and always did that on my days off and just thought, why should they be restricted and stuck in this tiny area when there's a really cheap, efficient way that we can get them out. If we go as a group, we can use less staff, we can get more people out, and it's free.
It's so much more than just a way to fill time or a way to get from A to B. It helps really alleviate any anxieties and stresses that they have. It gives them a chance to engage with the community that they don't have on a day-to-day basis, and they get to see different parts of the country as well.
We have one of the patients, and he's selective mute. But when we take him out on the walking group, he will talk very quietly, but he does talk.
It also helps staff a lot. I think staff burnout, particularly in these settings, can become really high. And when staff go out on these walking groups and get to interact with service users on that one-to-one basis, I think they feel rewarded in what they're doing as well.
I heard about a job making realistic limbs. And then I thought, well, that sounds really cool and really rewarding. With the realistic limbs, I usually get the clients referred through from the prosthetist. So I'll work with them and the prosthetist. And then with the alternative limbs, people will just approach me and then I work with the client with consent from their prosthetist. My interest is to really just open that dialogue, just get that dialogue going and bring these pieces to a wider audience as well. And so I think it just brings about awareness of amputees, but also just the body and difference and how everyone, you know, the idea of evolving your body in a different way and how it can capture everyone's imagination. People like to personalise things these days, and it makes sense to personalise something that has such significance to you. And from a psychological perspective, I think, you know, personalising, making it, it helps with the ownership, you know, taking ownership of that limb.
This is the latest design. This is the DSX arm. This is actually Dan's arm.
I read 3D printed, low cost, bionic hand, so I saw low cost and bionic and I was like, right, I'm in on this.
Dan puts his arm in here, which this is a custom socket, so we 3D scanned his arm and then 3D printed this socket, so it will only fit him. Inside there are sensors and they read muscle signals.
Every time we've gone to events or even just worn it, people's faces light up because they can just see how amazing it is.
Part of our first mission was to make bionics more accessible, so they're really, really expensive. We know amputees who have spent over $100,000 on a bionic hand, and we are hoping to be less than $5,000. Our ultimate goal is to make 3D printed like a basic model that would be like $1,000. So the ultimate goal is to make them as cheap as possible.
So they take it very seriously and they've got a big passion for it, and I have full-on respect for those two, and I love them to bits for what they've done. So, and they've helped me get, and they don't realise, but they've helped me get out of a rut and gone from something kind of negative and made it positive, and they're helping making other people's lives positive as well, and I think that's the best way forward.
Right now, out there, there's people on bicycles, getting to people faster, getting to people and maybe restarting their heart, and those vital seconds are so important at that moment in time, and also saving the ambulances that would have been sent. We keep on doing that for as long as we can. I think we're doing all right.
It's a real remarkable change that we see in the patients here.
I'm interested in kind of pushing the boundaries and exploring my imagination, and then maybe untapping other people's, like unlocking other people's imagination.
When we test these devices with people, the feedback and like the smiles you get and the family's reaction too, it's really rewarding.
You know, if I was probably like 10 years old again, I think I would be so excited for the future of like prosthetics, where when I was a kid there was, in my eyes at the time, that I didn't think there was any hope for any of that. And it's a very strange feeling to know that was once a distant memory and now is actually becoming a reality. Is kind of mind-blowing.